So Trackmania Grand League is going into step number 3 here. After 2 steps have been played out already, we're now coming to the halfway point basically, with the 3rd step being played on Sunday, 8 PM as per usual. The first steps didn't go that well for me. I mean, step 1, I did manage to at least keep a few points by placing, I think it was 6th on the last map. Overall, not the greatest outcome though, in terms of points. Step 2 was a flush down the toilet because I tilted and wasn't really able to perform. And for step 3, I really tried to get my mindset back again and show that I can do it. The maps have been quite good for me as well. We have 2 new maps in the rotation, and the previous maps will rotate backwards in their order. So I felt good on the maps, and I went into the step with high expectations still, but not as high as previous time, because previous time I think one reason why I tilted is because I had too high expectations, then I made a mistake and I was done. So today I wanted to perform, but on a different kind of level, psychologically, if that makes any sense. So we have new maps, new chance, and let's kick off the recording here. So the first map is Picicle. And Picicle, of course, is now being played for the 3rd time. Can't wait for this one to be gone, because while it's an okay map, I think playing it 3 times is enough. For the final time, we're going to go through the identity where you have to spin your car 180 degrees on the ice 2 times. Get as many boosts as you can to maintain the speed. The rest of the map is pretty straightforward. I played good on this map in step 1. I got 10th here with only half a second down to 8th, so my pace wasn't bad. In step 2 I crashed, and now in step 3 I wanted to, you know, at least get a run through without that many mistakes, or without any mistake in fact. So we're gonna kick it off right here with the first lap. So as per usual, 6 laps, 6 maps. No point loss in the first 2 maps, and then 50% point loss on map 3 and 4, 100% point loss on maps 5 and 6. But for now, it is about accumulating the points, and that is exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't practice the new maps too much, because I put very high emphasis on the new maps, on the maps that actually matter for point loss. So this one, as well as Bookcase, the maps that are map 1 and 2 this evening, I barely played them. I haven't touched them the entire week basically, and I only de-rested a bit on Saturday. So one day prior to the step, that's when I started to just play them a bit to get my muscle memory back. Knowing that these are not too important, I obviously didn't want to spend too much time on maps that don't matter that much. I prefer to just practice the new maps and make sure that I'm fast as well as consistent on them. And I went into the step with a lot of confidence. I even held the 6 lap world record for quite some time on map 5. So I had really good pace on map 6 as well. And that gave me hope, obviously, that I can finally get some points and secure my spot in the season, and perhaps even move closer towards the big goal, which are the playoffs. But yeah, map 1 so far pretty solid. Pretty solid run. Obviously didn't want to risk too much. Didn't want to go for the craziest of lines. Didn't really feel comfortable with that either on this map. This is a very pace heavy map. You have to full send it everywhere, and that's something that I usually don't like, because I'm more of the consistent player, and I rather want to shine through with consistency instead of the fastest lap time over and over again. Which is something that other players do. I mean, you've seen Peck, for example. He's super fast and consistent. He's the GOAT right now in Trackmania Grand League. Not even Carl Jr. can match him at the moment in terms of speed, so that is super impressive. But yeah, those are not my ambitions, obviously. My ambitions are just to be consistent, show what I can do, and get some points home. We are in round number 3. And so far, good pace with no errors, with nothing really to be worried about. I felt calm in this moment. It's not like my heartbeat was super high or anything. it does happen occasionally that your heartbeat goes a bit higher, especially later in the step when there's actually something on the line. But at this point I was pretty calm, which obviously helps to perform and to not let the emotions take over and eventually lead into mistakes. We have a resub, by the way, from Falcor91. Thank you for the 3 months. Spawn with 44 months. And JR1988 with 33 months. Loyal support here by the chat. And also Mass Flash with a new Prime Gaming sub. Thank you very much for that. So, at the moment I'm finding myself on 8th place. And, okay, 10th place, never mind. But, you know, it's then again, it's a pace map. And this race was bound to be close. I don't really think that a lot of people really bother to practice this anymore. Because then again, it's only map 1 and it doesn't really matter that much. Of course it matters, every point matters, but you all know how punishing the point system is at the end. And since you only have 1 week of practice, you rather want to focus on the last maps, which actually matter, instead of the early ones. Yo, Gordon Freeman, enjoy the gift sub. And we have a new sub as well. Inzuri, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome in. Lots of support this evening. I appreciate it. Lap number 5. Finding myself solid on P8 at the moment. And this, I think, was pretty close to my PB so far in terms of pace. Obviously, you know, I didn't push it a lot. Left a lot of space to the walls and didn't go full crazy, full super fast everywhere. But it's enough at the moment. And I was surprised to see that I was only 1 second behind at this point. I expected to be further behind. So at this point, very pleasantly surprised by my pace. Sitting on 8th place with Evon behind me and Bren in front. Of course, one little mistake could possibly throw me down to 10th. Because there's a quite substantial gap between Orbel and Afi. So let's say you make a small mistake or you lose your gear or something, then you could drop to 10th, but not any further down. So I was in a pretty comfortable spot at the moment. And at this point, I just wanted to get this through, because 8th place, honestly, on this map, where I did not necessarily struggle to keep up with the pace, but it wasn't my best map. It was aight. It was aight. Let's just keep going here. I think the music is a bit silent. Let me fix up the volume here. Zoop. Okay. So sliding into the identity for the 5th time. One more time. We see Pack in the lead. Pack, of course, a massive. Like he's such a machine, honestly. Very, very impressive. And I did actually move up to 7th place here, which is quite surprising. And 6th place even. So I'm not sure if that was just me driving good, because it just felt like a normal line. I just kept gaining. Like, what the fuck is happening here? I went from 8th to 4th here. So, I don't know. People either crashed or I went fast and didn't know. But it didn't really feel that fast. So, I was very, very surprised. And that put me in a little bit of a pressure situation, because I was like, okay, dude, what is this? All of a sudden I'm good on this map, or or what? So 4th place, very nice. Was of course hoping to hold this now, because once you smell, you taste the blood, then you obviously want more. Almost hit the tree here, by the way, in the final lap. I got passed by one bloke, but even 5th place for a Picicle, that's pretty good. For Picicle standards, that is a-okay here. That is a-okay. And one more spin here for the fans. Zoop. Yes. And there we have it. Going into the finish, and I placed 5th on map 1 here. Pack winning with a 6:52 behind Kappa, Spam, Carl Jr. and me. A 6:53.52. I think that is actually PB for me. I'm not quite sure, but I think this is my 6th lap PB. So we played this track for a month and I PB in the match. You know, I had so much time, so many opportunities to PB, and I do it today in the match. That is solid. That is solid. Orwell on 6, Evon on 7, Papu, Afi, Tween, Massa, Link, Bren, Mada, Gwen, and Scrappy. Scrappy, very far behind. I think he had controller issues. I think he died or something. But then again, it's almost irrelevant. And I say almost because every point counts, and 1 or 2 points can in fact make the difference. If we take a look back at Trackmania Grand League Season 2, where 2 points made the difference of making it into the playoffs or not, where Kappa had like 120, Massa had 118 or something. That was insane, man. That was insane. Every point counts here, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming to map number 2, which is Bookcase. And Bookcase, of course, you all know it. We all love it. Bookcase is returning again. And I decided to not take any risks here, knowing that I will jeopardize a potential good spot on this map, because I know I can do this map fast, but I just don't feel comfortable with it. And especially not after only playing it once per week. And that made me decide, at this point of time and space, to just go for the safe route all the time. You know, you can go to the top, the second floor both times in the identity and then jump into a bug slide. And then again, I know how to do it, but I didn't want to put anything at risk. Because I would rather get 8th or 9th or something by just going safe, instead of get last with bonking the identity or some shit. So I went ahead and I just drove. I said it earlier, I didn't care about the first 2 maps, because I needed a lot of time to learn the new maps. And last time I did the mistake that I tried to maybe push it a bit too much on the unnecessary maps. If you look back at step 2, I made the crucial mistake in map 2, sorry. I crashed in map 2 and it fucked up my mental game. Crashing in map 2, you know, map 2 doesn't matter, but again, I let that get to my head a little bit, and that's not good. So this time I went with a much emptier mindset into the first 2 maps, and so far it went pretty well, if I would say so myself. With the 5th place on map 1, it showed that on the one hand, people weren't as fast on it anymore because no one bothered with it. On the other side, I drove fast. I even PB'd because I didn't expect that much from myself anymore, and I just went for it. And I think that was a very, very good thing to change up for me. Map 2 is starting. Bookcase, another 6 laps, and this one is also going to be played for the last time. No more Bookcase after this, unless it happens to get picked for the playoffs or for the relegation matches. Hoping that I, of course, make it into the playoffs and not into the relegation matches. At the moment, I'm 11th in the standings with not that many points. I think I got like 20-something points, so that's really nothing. I really need 1 good step or 2 very, very good steps. And I had high hopes. All the maps were suiting me in this step. I was fast on the last one, fast on map 5, map 3 and 4, good too. I had hopes to get like 30, 40, 50 points in this. And so far we're on a pretty good way. Lap number 1. I landed good enough to make it into, you know, the second layer and risk it for the bug slide, but I just didn't want to. I was like, fuck it, I go safe. I just wanted to go safe, and after lap 1 it put me to 8th place. This is kind of exactly what I expected. This is exactly where I expected to be with a performance like this. 8th place it is, very close to the inside there, holy moly. So yeah, just gotta play my game here and hope that going safe everywhere is enough. And yeah, for those who missed it, no engine sound in this recording, because while I played, I listened to some copyrighted music. And I don't want to butcher that. You know, I don't want to play copyrighted music and then Mr. Sony rings at my bell and he's like, yo, bro, stop using my music. Yeah? We're not doing that. Identity number 2, this time I had a pretty hefty release later on in the air, so this one would have definitely not made it into the second layer. And I just went safe. Very close to losing my gear actually. In that U-turn you want to stay in second gear. If you turn it too tight you can drop to first, and that is terrible. So I was very, very close to dropping it, but I stayed in second gear, which is good. 8th place going into lap number 3. Great choice of tactics, don't risk and try to be consistent. Exactly. I mean, that's usually how I play as well. But with TMGL, this is like a very peculiar thing that happens in the Trackmania Grand League, because everyone is so fast and everyone's, or mostly everyone is very well practiced, that you need to push. You can't just hope that with your consistency or with taking everything a bit slower, you're gonna make it, because everyone was fast. And that is something that can trick you into driving faster, sometimes even unnecessarily faster, and then make mistakes. Good landing again, but Mr. Riolo is just gonna take it safe. I don't want to have another heart attack. Even though I went pretty fucking close to that pole, I almost had a heart attack there. But all good in the hood. Just drive. Still chilling on 8th place, so I'm again the midfield Andy, but I'm obviously aware that I am the midfield Andy, and I will be for the rest of the season. At least on some maps. On some other maps, I'm faster. I'm better than midfield Andy. Then I'm like fast Andy. But on many maps, I'm usually a midfield Andy. And that's okay. I gotta say though, with the point system like this, the worst thing is to be midfield Andy. Because you're always on the hot seat. You are always, you know, on the edge of either keeping your points or not keeping your points. That is the shitty thing about being midfield Andy. And that makes it, for me, very exhausting. Very exhausting to game. Once again, good landing. Could have easily made it, but no. Fuck that shit. Through the hairpin we go. All good and dandy so far. You think everyone behind you bonked at least once? Not necessarily, no. I think some players behind me just drove slower than me. But I'm pretty sure, since this is only map 2, more people just went for the ham, you know? They tried to obtain the grain. I think that is something, like it's either that or the opposite. Pretty sure that some people just tried. Oh, here I lost my no slide. And I instantly lost my positions as well. From 8th to 9th. So I turned on my interface to see, should I maybe push and get top 8 or no? And I saw Kappa half a second behind me, or Rel 0.3 ahead. So I knew that if I just keep pushing safe, I might stay 9th. Link, 6 seconds behind. Evon, Scrappy, Tween, Afi, Massa, they all died. They're out of the question. So we see, for example, Bren, Pack, Papu. They probably all went for the risky shit. I think most players in front, they went for the risky bug slide. So far, my race meets the expectations, basically. There were a lot of people saving this. I am not surprised. This map is legit not too difficult. If you don't push the identity for the risky strat. Virtual called you the fastest non-bug slider since you were catching Aurel. Ooh. Here I made a huge mistake actually. I'm not sure if you caught it, but I had really bad bounces at the lap transition. And I got snacked by Kappa as a result. Because I wiggled way too much and then my drift angle was shit. And I lost super much speed. I dropped down to 10th place. And now at this point I knew Kappa was ahead. I knew he wasn't that far ahead either. So I was like, look, it was 520 and 534. So I knew with a good end, maybe with a risky end, I could at least get 9. Which would make pretty much no difference. Maybe 1 point, actually. But 1 point is 1 point. Yeah? 1 point is 1 point. It was me versus Kappa here, basically. So, zooping. Had the early landing, and I actually went for it. I did go for it, but my line was a bit crooked. It was a bit scuffed, so it didn't work. I went for it. I wanted to eat Kappa there in the end. But I noticed my approach was shit, so I cancelled. Mission abort. Mission abort. 9th place on... No, 10th place on Bookcase. Bren winning with a fantastic time. 6:39. That is redonkulously fast. So with this, Bren is gonna win €100 and 20 points. Fastest lap by Spam, 105.55. I don't know what kind of Kellogg's you have to eat for that time, but that's a very good lap. Pack on 2nd, Papu on 3rd, Spam on 4th, Carl on 5th, Gwen on 6th, Mada and Aurel on 7th and 8th. And then there's Kappa ahead. I could have got 9th, but who cares. Then me on 10, Link, Evon, Scrappy, Massa, Tween and Afi behind me for map number 2. Alrighty. So here we see all the players finishing. And so far, I'm happy. I drove consistent, I made no mistakes, I matched exactly the expectations I had from the first maps, even exceeded my expectations on map 1. At the moment, after second map, I'm sitting here with 14 points on 8th place, tied with Aurel, the leader of the step. Once again, Pack, who is arguably the fastest player in the game right now, if we at least look at raw pace in the 6-lappers in the Trackmania Grand League. Very, very nice. Bren, very good. 25 Spam, also fantastic performance so far with 24, outclassing Carl Jr., 19 points for Carl and Kappa. Papu with 18, and then, yeah, Aurel and me on 7th and 8th tied. In the back we see Evon, Gwen, Mada, Link, Massa, Tween, Afi and Scrappy. But yeah, the step only begins now. Yeah. The step only begins now. At this point, we will initiate the 50% point loss. 50% point loss. 50% point loss initiated. So at this point, we will have 50% point loss for everyone who places 9th to 16th. And our map is gonna be Switcheroo. Also, keep the chat in English. Thank you very much. So step 3. Map 3 is Switcheroo. And on Switcheroo, I actually improved massively, I have to say. I improved very, very well on this map after step 2. In step 2, I struggled a little bit with the pace. And at the end, I think I got 9th or 10th with only that little margin towards 8th place, which would have actually kept me my points. But yeah, I lost my points in the end. This was map 6. Yeah, this was map 6 in step 2. And I lost my points because I got 9th or 10th or something. So I wanted to take revenge here. And my practice has been phenomenal, actually. I really improved my pace. I got a lot faster on this map for some reason. I don't even know why, to be honest. But I just got faster, got more confident with the lines as well. And improved my PB. I had one practice session. It was actually insane. I don't remember exactly what PB I had, but I improved my 6-lap PB twice in a row. I went from like, what was it, 553 to 552, and then 552 again, or something. Like, I don't know. I drove really good on this map. I was really embracing this one. But since this is still a pace map, I was happy that this is only map 3, because if I were to lose 50% of my points now, I could still heavily capitalize on maps 4, 5, and 6, which are the better maps for me. This entire step has been favoring me a lot when it comes to map order. Map order has been on point for me, because the further we got into the step, the better the map was. Map 3, okay, this one, you know, it was okay, I got better. Map 4, Slalom, very good map for me, where I can usually perform very well. Map 5, I had world record on that map. I lost it, but I had. And then map 6, also good. But yeah. Anyway, we have the first lap underway, and who do we see on the stadium pillar? Who is that friendly face on the stadium? Who is that? Yes, it is Riolu. Look at that smile. He's like, yes, Riolu. Finally providing some actual content. So yeah, very good start for me, I have to say. Very risky drift there. But I'm keeping myself on first place. Very surprising, but I'll take it. My heartbeat was already going up by quite a bit. I was like, okay dude, that is my day. This is my day. And that made me happy, because the practice on this map, as I said, I did blast PBs left, right, center, and seeing that I actually improve in the actual TMGL step, in the actual competitive situation, that made me very happy. That made me very happy. Dropping down to third place, but that's okay, because everything I wanted is to keep my points. I did not expect to be second or first or third or whatever, I just wanted to keep my points here. That got me a little excited, not gonna lie. But had to keep my focus up as well, as I now get snacked a little bit by a few players. That was a bit of a shitty drift, and I also lost my gear. Unfortunately, no engine sound in this recording, but I did drop my gear, which costs like 0.2. And as a result, I have lost another additional position. So from hero to 5th, not terrible though. You know, I'm not complaining here. 5th place is still better than expected, but it keeps getting worse here. 6th place, what is this shit? Stop going so fast, everyone. Stop. There we go, 5th. Fixed. Now, of course, it's a bit like on Picicle. I did surprisingly well, so I was motivated to hold that position and maybe take some unnecessary risks. Maybe not the best thing to do. This could have also backfired pretty hard. Let's see if it will. At the moment, it is looking a-okay. Pretty trash drift here again. But 83. Hundreds behind the leader. Pack first, of course. Papu on second, Kappa on third, Carl right ahead of me. And I have Afi, Massa, Bren behind me, and also Evon pretty close. So the field is still really stacked. And we see some smaller mistakes already being done by Link, who is 1 second behind 8th. Tween also, Gwen, Spam, and Scrappy have already bonked a little bit. But yeah. Focus on myself here. And try to hold that 5th place. Didn't know you can keep the gear there until watching the step. Yeah. It's pretty rough to hold the gear, but it saves a lot, actually. A little bit of a back and forth here. 5th, 6th, all the time. Position swap. Here we have to release a little bit to land on the reactor boost a bit earlier. I sadly did not achieve that here in this lap, but it doesn't lose much. You gain a few hundreds by landing earlier, so it's all good. A bit wide here on the ice. Good drift, good speed. Oh, and the drifts, all good so far. Holding up the pace. This is lap 4, I think, right? What lap is this? I lost track already. 7th place. Monka W. Why did I lose my positions? I was like, what? How did that happen? Also jumped a little bit too far to the right there. You want to take as much of the boost as you can, basically, without hitting the tree. But 7th place, you know, I'll take it. As long as I don't lose my points, we good. Also very friendly Twitch chat here. So many smillies, I like that. And now things started to get a bit dangerous. I was slacking a bit with my pace. I wasn't hitting the best lines anymore. And now I was on the hot seat. 8th place. 8th place for me. I didn't like to see this, you know. After being first, I knew I could do better. But I think the pressure got the best of me here. So I took it a bit safe. Which is probably for the better. Because pressure can really fuck you up sometimes. Especially when you take a lot of risks. Then sometimes it can backfire and then you lose all your points. I'd rather play it a bit slower, but still keep my points. And end up at like 6th, 7th, 8th, instead of dropping to the red positions. So at the moment, comfortable lead of 6/10 of a second down to Massa, who is on 9th. And I'm in a battle with Evon. Bren is in front. Afi also within reach. Then there's Carl, Kappa already quite far ahead. Papu and Pack with a really, really good pace. And this is lap number 5 now. Good air brake, keeping grip. Up to 7th, passing Evon here. Identity, chuck to the right. Brake as you hit the ice, counter steer left. Release. Good booster amount, very wide on the left, a lot of speed. Smooth landing in the slope, turn left, air brake. Get the correct rotation. And good start into lap 6 here. 7th place. This was a bit wide. This kind of ruined my drift angle a little bit. Had to adjust. Also a few too many adjustments on the ice. I went a bit left-right because I wasn't exactly committed to my line. But I passed someone up to 6th place now. And 6th place would be a very positive result for me on this map. Afi is 2/10 behind. Massa has in fact gained 1 position because Evon dropped to 10th place. Evon apparently having made a bit of a blunder there. Evon unfortunately now down to 10th place. But I'm sitting very safe on 6th, and I know that if I survive the end, if I make it, then I gotta keep my points, which is absolutely fantastic. You were actually faster than the others on this one. Yeah, sometimes, you know, sometimes I can really blast out some sick lines, but then I lost too much by safing every now and then. But yeah, 5:53.79, which is a very good time for me. I drove multiple 53s after, you know, I started to kind of understand this map. And a 5:53 was a very good result for me. Pack winning with a 51, that is unheard of. That is a really fast time. Papu on 2nd, Carl on 3rd, Bren, Kappa, Riolu, Afi, and Massa. We all get to keep our points. And everyone in the red is gonna lose half their points. So Evon, Mada, Aurel, Gwen, Scrappy, Tween, Link, and Spam. So Spam with the biggest minus at the moment. Unfortunate for him. Not sure what happened, but yeah. What can you do? How far is that from PB? Not even a second. I had a 5:52, I'm pretty sure, PB. So yeah, Spam here, minus 12. But then again, nothing's lost yet, because it's only map 3, and you can easily bounce back from this. And it's looking good for me here. Pack, 56 points, already starting to completely annihilate everyone and basically continue what he started in step 2. Bren, also very good performance, 35 points. Papu, 32. Carl, 31. Kappa, 28. And I'm here with 22 points after 3 maps. That's my best result in the season so far. Afi and Massa and Spam, all 3 with 13 points. Evon and Orwell with 11. Mada with 10. Gwen with 9. Tween, 7. Link, 6. And Scrappy on last with 5 points. Is the step shown live with everyone at the same time? Yes, it is. Exclamation mark watch in the Twitch chat to gain some further information. And for those who are watching the VOD, you can check out all the streamers on TrackmaniaGrandLeague.com with dashes in between, Trackmania-Grand-League.com. And that's where you can find all the information. We're coming to map number 4. This one is Slalom. A map I really enjoy playing, one of my favorites so far, to be honest. Because not only is the route fun to play, but also the identity is very fun, very rewarding, and I was able to nail it down pretty well. The ice identity. It's crazy for me to say that I actually start to like ice. But yeah, I do actually start to enjoy ice a lot more now that I actually know what I'm doing. Really enjoyable. And we're coming on to Slalom, where I unfortunately lost my points in the previous step because of a small blunder that happened. I think I ended up 9th on this map as well. I don't even know how many times I ended up 9th in this season already, but I think I got more 9th places than anyone else in the season, which is kind of frustrating because 9th place is basically first loser. It's the first one to lose either 50 or 100%. So 9th place is like the shittiest position you want to be, to be honest. It fucking sucks. So I wanted to make up for that, and knowing that I have a good pace, I wanted to show what I got here on Slalom. I did, in fact, PV on this map. Not in the warm-up, but earlier in my practice. And I blasted a 6:17 low, I think. If I recall correctly, I got a low 6:17. Which is less than 2 seconds shy of the world record. Which is very sick. But yeah, we're kicking it off after the warm-up. Currently sitting on 6th place with 22 points. Very good, very happy with the performance so far. Like, I can't complain. Of course, a few small errors. Not every line was perfect, but what can you expect? What can you expect? Do mappers need to be good drivers too? Not at all. I mean, it helps to be a good driver so you can judge your map better and adjust it accordingly to, you know, what's possible and what isn't. But yeah, there are plenty of mappers who are not top-level drivers, but they know what they're doing. Mapping is a lot about experience and just knowing what block combinations or generally what you build, what works and what doesn't. Being a good driver is maybe a head start, but not necessarily. There are also a lot of good drivers and they can't build maps for shit. That's also also a thing. But yeah, going into lap number 1, currently on 6th place. Solid start though overall. Didn't push it that far or that much. And the first spin on the ice, very fast, a lot of speed. I don't think I could have carried more speed through that. Because the scary part about that ice is if you enter with too much speed, you will slide out backwards. What happened in the warm-up, I'm not sure if you paid attention, but in the warm-up I entered too fast and I flew out backwards because I dropped my gear and therefore I also lost my grip. So you don't want to enter this with too much speed. Very important thing is that you face more. You need to spin the car more than 180 degrees in that identity, basically. That's what you need. This was very shit. I even lost my gear. So this was a very, very bad dirt part. I got sent out too wide and then my entire angle was screwed, basically. And that put me down to 8th place, but no problem. I knew that my identity was faster than the identity from most other people. And I knew that as long as I survived the identity, I can maybe even afford that one or other gear loss. I mean, look at this. I went from 8th to 4th. So that proves that my end is sick and I can easily recover a small blunder here as well. We see some big mistakes already. Evon dead, Massa dead. Which is, of course, good for me. It sounds a bit sucky, but of course, with less opposition, it is easier to hold your points. I was already 1.3 seconds behind. Pack on a massive pace again. Pack, I don't know, man. Pack's been stepping up. He was already good, but he's been stepping up his game even more. It's ridiculous. Pack is so good. Pack is so freaking good. He is a machine. But I'm on 4th, going into lap 3. Very good. If I can hold this, I'm happy. And as I said, my PB on this was a low 617. My average 6-lappers that I usually get through range between 618 to 620. And in the previous step I drove a 622, which got me 9th. So I knew that if I just match that consistency pace that I have normally on this map without any mistake, it should be enough for points. And at the moment, that theory makes sense. It shows. I'm 5th. I'm not risking a lot. This was a bit shitty, but all good. You can't spell pace without pack. True. But yeah, really good exit again. I'm almost jumping into the finish, into the multi-lap. That's how much speed I'm getting out of the identity. It definitely helps to use D-pad. The D-pad is very beneficial here for me in the identity. And that is, I think, one of the main reasons why I actually gain on most other people who use analog to steer down the hill at the end. Which is not technically slower, but often you don't get the perfect grip level and then you lose speed actually. So 5th place, chilling, dong, and that's a hit. And you all know what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know what happened in step 2 after I bonked. I have lost my marbles. So at this point, I have bonked and I got thrown only to 6th place. I didn't lose a lot. That mistake wasn't that costly. It lost me more than half a second, probably. But then again, I knew that if I kept the pace otherwise and avoid making more mistakes, I'm in. 2.5 seconds I think I was behind the pack, so all good. There was plenty of room for me to work with. What mattered to me the most is also to get my mental game straight and avoid exactly what ruined my step last weekend, where I tilted and then, yeah, my step was over. Yo Sid, see ya later man. Thank you for hanging out. I think this is lap 5 now. I'm not exactly sure. I think this is 4 or 5. How close to that flag? Yeah. Also this part, I felt pretty shitty with last weekend, but this weekend I felt better. Very often I either understeered or oversteered that drift, and then I lost all my speed for the uphill. I kind of fixed that issue, which is very good. 6th place, all good. Another spin through the identity. I had to adjust a lot here. You saw my wheels, they were a bit wonky. I had to steer a lot to keep myself in the line. But it's all good. Final lap coming up. I'm on 6th place. And I just wanted to get this one through. No real risk required, to be honest. Just get this through and my points are in the pocket. Again, which is great, because that's exactly what I wanted. This step was my chance so far, and I used that chance. So far, I kept my points, consistency is good, smaller mistakes here and there, but a step to be satisfied with. That was unnecessarily close to the wall. I almost pooped my pants, but I didn't. Final grass corner. Hold the gear and yeah, you see the gaps, this is safe. If I don't bonk the end, this is it. 3 seconds behind Pack. Kappa 1 whole second behind me, so I could take it so safe. Gwen, maybe within reach. Gwen was only 0.3 ahead, so maybe snack on Gwen with a good identity in the end. Carl Jr. plus 0.11 behind Mada, about to lose 50% of his points. Let's see if that's gonna happen. Exciting. Or not. Depends how you see it. Chucking it around. Hoping for that 6 on the car to turn into a 5. Which it did. Ding 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 ding. There you go. Papu died. Papu died, ladies and gentlemen. And Carl Jr. kept his points. Unbelievable. Very unfortunate for Papu though. He was in front. Or, well, not, he wasn't first, but he was leading in front of most others. he bonked really badly in the end. Papu lost his points, or 50% of them. And I finished on 5th place. Very nice. Pretty happy about this. Gwen in front, Tween in front, Bren in front, and Pack with a 616.7. So with my 617 PB, I would have placed 2nd, which is basically 1st if you ignore Pack, because he doesn't live on Earth. So I would have actually won the map. And yeah, we see a bunch of upsets. Of course, Papu with minus 16. The biggest loser here, unfortunately. That's the point system for you. Oh, spam going through the spectators. Unbelievable. Damn, damn, damn. Where did Pack come from? I've never heard of him before. Pack has his origins from Canyon, actually. He was one of the best Canyon players back then, till he made the switch to Stadium in like 2013, 2014. And then slowly but surely worked himself up to the top of the food chain. And now Pack is destroying everyone. Left, right, center. Whenever he wants. Incredible gamer. Speaking of incredible gaming, Nadeo have decided to implement something new to step 3. And it is something I'm not sure what to think of. Ladies and gentlemen, this is map 4.5 basically. This is called Clash Time, and an explanation will pop up on the screen soon, so I don't have to like think of my own explanation. But this is a special little thing that they thought would be a good addition to the Trackmania Grand League steps. The map looks insane, very competitive, top tier game. And I'm just waiting for the explanation to pop up. There you go. Welcome to Clash Time. During the break, you will control your favorite TMGL player's car. Cooperate and do your best to cross as many checkpoints as you can in the given time. Type ++ in the chat to accelerate, - in chat, blah 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 blah. And the car has a top speed of 50 kilometers an hour. So, all of you geniuses already typing in these symbols in the chat, it doesn't work, this is a recording. Just saying. So this is something for the live broadcasts. The viewers can control the car, while the TMGL players, in this case me, can't do anything. So we have to sit here, and we can't warm up. We can't drive. We can't do anything. We have to watch this. Yeah? We have to watch this. So you can think about this what you want. I think it's a cool gimmick, but not in the middle of the match. You should put this at the start, before the step begins, yeah? To maybe get some people involved or something. But yeah, here it goes. So you see the inputs in the top right, at the top. Your car is controlled by Twitch. So this is a map that has been built specifically for this purpose. It is redonkulous. You should rewatch me on webcam. Yeah, we will. So I think I'm just gonna speed this up by a little bit. So there's 6 minutes, and Twitch chat, of course, with stream delay and with everything, they now spam the inputs to get this car through the racing track. And I, as a competitive esport athlete, have to sit here zipping on my Coke Cherry, thinking, okay, that is content. So, you know, I'm all for breaks and stuff, but they shouldn't be mandatory. Yeah, because now you can't play. I can't, like, drive myself. This is not even the correct map. I can't do jack shit. Of course, I could go and run a second instance of Trackmania, but yeah. I don't even know anymore. So yeah, this is something I think you should rather put this in the beginning of the step, before the competition starts. Because now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I would rather like to warm up on the next map. So my Twitch chat has been controlled, or my car has been controlled by Virtual, his live stream, because he is the official caster for me. So his chat controls my car. And so far, that chat hasn't done very nicely. We see Aurel's chat is insane. Scrappy, very nice. And then there's us, plus 105 seconds behind already. Virtual's chat, if they keep this feature, they have to step it up. I can't believe it. So that is hilarious. I will speed this up even further. Okay. And here we have been hard stuck again in the dirt. We even made it over the wall. But that's not getting you any points. You have to get checkpoints, not over walls. And of course, the chats with more people, for example, Virtual, Massa, you know, Carl Jr., they have chats with multiple thousand people. So obviously this is not gonna work, as opposed to chats with 30, 40 people, where you can communicate a bit better. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Trackmania Grand League clash time. And did we clash in this one? Whew, man, insane. Really, really good. So timer on the left, we're running out of time. We have not even completed one lap, but we ended up 5th, which is not too terrible. Really, really great. Really, really good. Map number 5, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're coming to some actual gameplay again. And in this, or on this map is called FrozenFridges. And holy moly, have I been a gamer on this map. I have, in fact, gotten the world record in 6 lap. It's usually not something to brag with, but in TMGL I'm usually not someone who fights for the 6 lap world records because the others are just better at that. But I... yeah, I'm even losing my voice, that's how excited I am. I, in fact, have gotten a 6 lap world record on this. This map... At first, I wasn't sure if this was gonna be my map. Because on the one hand, I was good on the identity, but on the other hand, this was still a big, like, pace map. You had to push this a lot, and this one has a lot of drifts. Drifts are usually not my strength, but I was vibing with this map at some point. I was vibing. I don't know what it was, but I was vibing with this map. Felt very comfortable with everything, basically. And here we're coming up to the identity. So this is one of the 2 new maps. And the identity is to slow down. You didn't see that, by the way. You slow down. You slow down just in time to get the checkpoint. This is the checkpoint stripe. This is the middle. Here is where the trigger is. So you have to slow down the car just enough that you reach the checkpoint and then spin. Yeah? And you don't want to go too much higher, because then you just travel unnecessary distance. Of course you get a bit more speed, but that's not worth it. Because not only do you have to do this once, but in fact twice. But not even twice, but thrice. So 3 times you have to do this. And it's only worth to go a bit higher in the 3rd one. Because here, you see that there's a long stretch after the 3rd one, including a freewheeling, where your engine turns off until you get to the new lap. So it's only worth to go a tiny tad higher in the 3rd one, in the 3rd turnaround. But in the other ones, you want to get as tight as possible around the trigger, basically. So on this map, I was very pleasantly surprised. Also, thank you, Spam. I was very, very positive about this map, to my own surprise. But I just felt it. And it did put a bit of pressure on me, of course, because now I had to show that my time attack was not just a fluke, but actual skill and consistency. And now we're coming up to the point where 100% of points are being lost if you get 9th or worse. We have a 2-minute warm-up still, so I'm just gonna speed this up again. Dude, I'm going fast, man. Holy moly. That is quick. Also, Ultra Alpaca with a €10 donation. Thank you very much, man. That is very kind. I appreciate it. So I just did my warm-up here. Nothing exciting to show. Just wanted to keep myself warm. And yeah, here it goes. Map number 5. I'm going into map number 5 with 31 points, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot of points. Just saying. Wow, dude, why you cheat? Okay, so 31 points. That can potentially go down the toilet here. But I knew that I could do it on this map. I just knew it. But it started off a bit badly here. That drift was very wide. My precision was a bit off, and pressure was definitely, like, my heart rate at this point was over the top. Because I knew that on a map like this, if you make one mistake, or if you don't get the checkpoint or something, which is in fact something that happened to me in Trackmania Grand League already in Season 1, some of you maybe still remember, if that happens, you're out, 100%, and you lose all your points. This is a raw pace map. And my lap 1 was absolutely terrible. I did not get very well into this race, unfortunately. Not really feeling it. I went way too high here as well. So at this point I was like, oh shit, I'm shaky. Because my lines have been all over the place. Very, very shaky. And I only drove a 109.11 opening lap, which is something I usually don't drive anymore. Because normally my opening laps range between 108.3 to 108.6. So this lap 1 was really shit. But then again, I knew I could do it. But not like this. Look at that jump. I didn't counter steer my car. So I fucked up even more. I dropped to 14th place. And at this point, dude, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? The pressure really got the best of me there. I was like, yeah, that can't be, man. What am I doing? Up to 11th place, 10th place. Still very close race here. And look at the speed at the entrance of the freewheeling part. I had 274 here. The best ones I had, they had like 280, 281 or something. That is mental. But if you get over 270, that's usually a good drift. Because in this speed, or in this part, you need to keep as much speed as possible, because you can't accelerate here. Cuber, thank you for the resub, by the way. So that was good. I knew I had to push a little bit. Bit too much steering there as well. Do you think your line of going to the outside of the sausage paid off? Yeah, for sure. If you do it right, it's so much faster. My line has definitely been superior. I had good lines on this map, which is also why I was able to contest the world record. Caught up greatly again. Back to 8th place. This is where I want to be to keep my points. And this kind of revitalized my confidence again. Because I knew I had the pace. And I knew that if I could match that pace, I'm going to keep my points too. Close to the wall. Up to 7th place. Outside line drift. Failed it, unfortunately, here. It's only 258. And with 258, you just have to drift a bit later. Sadly, lost 2 positions again. And I had to make up for it with some good identity turnarounds. First one was okay. Second one could have been a bit better angle, but solid speed. Third one, quite okay. And this should be lap number 4 incoming. There you have it. And I'm on 7th. So at the moment, it looks like I'm on the edge, you know? Sometimes I'm gaining, sometimes I'm losing. And I was definitely not satisfied with this, because I knew I could go a lot faster. But in this moment, all that went through my mind was to just avoid crashing and keep going. So it's a constant back and forth. You always see that my position, like on the car, it's always changing. At every checkpoint, it's changing. This was a bit better, 273 speed, which means I got to drift a bit earlier. Here I'm actually doing a little trick. I'm not sure if people are doing that, but I air brake when the downhill starts, so my car stays gripped a bit better. Not sure if that's really gaining me anything, but I did that because I felt like it gave me more control over my car. And everyone knew this map is going to be close from the get-go. It's a pretty simple map to get through, simple drifts as well. It's all about keeping the momentum. I went to fucking Mars here again, man. Braking a bit too late. Very, very stacked map. We were all aware of that, and that's why I was initially a bit afraid of this map. But yeah, I'm gaining again. Very, very good. And I was only half a second behind first. And if you take a look at what shitty of a run this actually was, I could have actually been first here. Crazy how close this was. Everyone has had a bit of shaky lines. Look, I even went to second place temporarily. It was so fucking close, man. The pace has been a bit slower, I think, from everyone. But I'll take it. I'm not complaining. And at this point I was also pretty happy to see spam on the scoreboard again, on the stadium pillar. That was nice. And look how close this is, man. Look at this leaderboard. Holy shit. 005, 026, 027, 032, 036, 047, 067, and then Papu, 0.7, Link, 1 second behind. Like, top 10 was in 1 second. Top 10 was in 1 second, and we're going into the last lap. So the pressure was at an all-time high. Second place, I was like, okay, I just passed 3 people there. What the fuck? Incredible. So I saw spam on the scoreboard, and I was like, okay, if I bust out a good lap, maybe I can fucking snipe that guy. So I was motivated to get a good lap going. I was actually motivated. Look at that, man. What a good race this was. Very, very good race, I have to say. Then the drift to the right. Could have gone a bit wider. 273 speed, still solid. Very late drift, could have gone tighter. That was not optimal. Traveled a bit too much distance. Sick turnarounds. Almost bonked on the outside here. You can see I was trying to push it. I really wanted the W here, but yeah. At the moment it doesn't look very good. Very high again. 4th place. Push. Go. So I put on my scoreboard, tried to hit the finish as early as possible, and I got 4th place here on map 5. So again, I keep my points. Spam wins with a 6:34, which is almost 2 seconds slower than my PB. So the times have not been very good here, actually. At least for me personally, I know I could have gone faster, but I had a bit of a rough time finding into the match. However, look how close this is. 62, 66, 68. That was insane, man. This race must have been an absolute bliss to spectate. But yeah, great comeback from me though, given that I had this shitty of a start. That was good that I came back this well. Very good stuff. So I'm happy, very, very happy with the step so far. Pack, again, big points. Carl, Bren, Aurel, Afi, Mada keep their points. Link with -7. Tween losing his points. Papu, Scrappy, Evon, Massa, Gwen, and Kappa has in fact disconnected in lap 2 or something. I'm not sure what exactly happened. I don't know all the details. but it said my game crashed lap 2 and then I couldn't even join the server. That's what it says in the in-game chat. So Kappa's game crashed and he DNF'd. So that makes you think. At this point, this is where the drama starts. So Trackmania Grand League drama. We're gonna make a drama channel out of this. First of all, happy that I kept my points. So let's wait for the scoreboard first. 104.56, that is like a ridiculous fastest lap, by the way. Really good. But yeah, I am 4th in the step, yeah? 4th place. Pack with 90 points. I repeat, 90 points. So Pack has been playing out of his mind. It's like Pack needs a new league above Grand League. The Trackmania Pack League. That is just mad at this point. 90 points. Brand 58, Carl Jr. 51, Riolu 41. At this point, you don't know, my heartbeat went so fast, I don't know for how much longer I could have kept going without, falling into a coma or something. 30 points for Spam, 25 for Mada, 17 for Afi, 16 for Aurel. Then we have Link, Tween, Papu, Scrappy, Evon, Masa, Gwen and Kappa all in the right side. But yeah, about Kappa. So he disconnected in lap 2. And for those who have followed the Trackmania Grand League, there has been the exact same scenario in step 2, where Mada disconnected the same way on map 6. So also Mada has lost connection, or his game crashed, his computer crashed, I don't know, doesn't matter what happened, but he was not able to drive. So what they did is they have restarted the race in the middle of map 2. Map 6. In lap 2, kinda towards the identity of map 6, they have rebooted. They have rebooted the entire race. So now, you might ask yourself, why did they not reboot for Kappa? Because Kappa wasn't able to drive either. Yeah? Mada didn't start, and Kappa was similar as well. Mada never started. Kappa crossed the start line, that's the difference. Well, anyway, people have been upset about this. Because in both times, it's been lap 2, and in both situations, it should have been handled a lot earlier than this. It doesn't matter what happened exactly and what kind of situation the players have been in, but both individuals have not been able to play, and in both cases, the race has been restarted. In one case it has been restarted, in the other one it hasn't. So, Kappa has been very vocal about this, for a reason obviously, because the way that this has been handled is very weird to say the least. We're coming to map number 6 here, which is a map that has been very, very interesting. This one is called ToThePeak. This is a map built by Firestorm. It is Firestorm's first map in Season 3 of the Trackmania Grand League. And I gotta say, I was blasting it on this map. I had a very good 6-lap pace on this map until Saturday, which is yesterday, one day before the step. A new strategy has been detected and shared to the public. I'm gonna get to it into a little bit. So this Trackmania Grand League step keeps on giving, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you need to sit on the edge. Also, the Gary, thank you for the 5-month resub. So, we're coming up to the identity here. You jump through the slow motion, land on the reset, and now you have the choice. You have multiple different booster platforms you can pick from to get to the peak, to get to the top, and start the new lap. Almost all players have found the following line to be the best. This. I mean, I drove shit, but you get the idea. So, you go like this. that is the route. However, yesterday, it has come to our attention that there's a new line. And that new line has been throwing everyone's pace around. It starts at this point, where you aim for a wider dirt line. So you don't go tight like me, but you go wider to keep more speed. Then you land and you go straight. You accumulate just enough speed to go onto this booster. And then from this booster, you can go to the left of this big wooden pillar and land on the next booster, or you go to the right, where you also have a booster. So there's 2 extra lines, which are both faster than the line I'm showing right here. And both are harder, almost impossible in my opinion, like really ballsy difficult. And players have started to like show this to the public yesterday. It is incredible. There has been... There's like a margin of just a few kilometers an hour where it works, and anything below that doesn't work anymore. And also the bounce on this booster is very particular. So there's a very easy chance that you will fuck it up. However, the new strat can gain 2 seconds per lap. I repeat, 2 seconds per lap. So that is a humongous thing. That one has been changing everything apart. And when I found out about it yesterday, I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not gonna train that. If people go for it, you know, cool, but I'm not gonna risk it. And at this point, with 41 points in the pocket, there's no way I'm gonna go for that. It's impossible. I felt confident with this map. Very good. Good pace, good consistency. I nailed the ice as well. No big issue. So at this point, I was like, okay, I gotta get this through. Just consistency. And that's it. And then this happened. Pause. So here's where the drama continues. Scrappy has had controller issues or game crash or something. And the game has been paused. So now you in fact do have 2 instances where the race has been paused for players who weren't able to start, but not for Kappa. So the inconsistency of decisions and the fact that players keep having technical issues either because of the game or because of whatever is absolutely pissing me off. Because you have to imagine, from a player's perspective, you're sitting here with 41 points, your heartbeat is at like 200 beats per second, and then there's a pause. You wanna fucking get done with this shit, and then there's a pause, because shit happens. Of course, it's unlucky if players have technical problems that are maybe unforeseen or something. It sucks, yes. But this shit throws you off so much. So what I did straight away, I just kept driving. I did not even want to bother about looking in the chat what happened. I just want to keep driving. So the pause is fair, yes. But what's not fair, or what's kind of shitty, is that it took minutes for the race to continue. I'm gonna play this at 8 speed. Okay, maybe not at 8 speed. This pause, take a look at the VLC player. 105.59. So let's say it's like 105. Let's put it on 108, 109, 110, 111, 6-minute break, 7-minute break, 8-minute break, 9-minute break, 10-minute break. This break is insane. I fell asleep. This brought me completely out of my focus, and I think I'm not the only one, to be honest. I'm not the only one. You know, you're so pumped, you're motivated, you are in the zone, you played good on map 5, and you wanna, you know, seal the deal, get your points home, and then this shit happens. You lose all your focus, man. It can't be. It can't be, man. Scrappy was on the server long before that already. Scrappy came on the server like 3 or 4 minutes after, you know, he had that issue. But the break kept going. The break kept going, and I was so out of my flow anymore. Virtual with a raid of 666 people. Are you the devil or or what? Damn, Virtual, thank you very much. And we have a resub from the one and only Virtual as well. Welcome in, everyone. And we are taking a gander at the POV analysis here. So I tried to not let myself get discouraged by this break, which has been way too long. And things like these are just infuriating, because it keeps happening. In every step so far, we've had technical issues that kind of play with, they tamper with your performance. Look, I'm first, yeah? First place for Riolu. So I had the pace. I had the pace, and I knew that if I just keep this going, no matter what people do in the identity, no matter what line everyone's taking, no matter like... I don't care what other people are doing. As long as I keep focused and keep playing my game, it will be enough. However, I was really noticing I was not, you know, I was a bit shaky because of the break. I tried my hardest to stay warm without completely exhausting my focus. Because, you know, the break has been 13 minutes. You can't play for 13 minutes straight and then drive another 6-lapper under extreme pressure situation. That's not good, man. That's not good. So at some point I had to take a break. I didn't want to exhaust my driving. I had to take a break at some point. But yeah, didn't want to let this get to my head too much. However, it was a very difficult situation to work with. So we're coming into lap number 2. All good so far. Very good ice slides. Solid enough. 5th place. We all good. Yes. That is absolutely fantastic. We are in lap number 2. We are in lap number 2 and I have understeered my ice slide. I found myself already not have the best angle and then I understeered. My car needed to point more towards the freaking song overlay. I needed more of an angle. I needed more of an angle. And that is why I got sent out wide. I tried to save it with brake taps. I realized too late that this line was shit. If I knew earlier, I would have brake tapped earlier, because with brake tap you can go tighter when you ice slide like this. But I realized too late. So I went into the pillar, or into the arrow, and I was hoping to stay on the track somehow, but no, I couldn't. So yeah, at this point, I screamed out the F word, which is fantastic, and yeah, moved on. I dropped to 15th place, ladies and gentlemen. Also, thank you for the resubs Ralinus with 14 months and Neos. I appreciate it. And this honestly fucked me up because I was so confident on the ice. I never really fucked it up anymore. I was very consistent in the ice. And while I'm not looking for excuses, and while I don't want to put anything to the blame or blame anyone, anything, I'm pretty sure the pause fucked up not only me, but also other players. Because many players have either had extra technical issues because of this, or they lost their focus. So this was absolutely, like, this really fucked me up, man. I was 3.8 seconds behind 8th, which is quite a big margin. But on the other hand, you know, on this map a lot can happen. A lot of things can possibly go right or wrong. And I didn't want to give up. I didn't fight this far to give up with 41 points. So just keep going and hope for a miracle. I keep gaining for some reason, which is good for me. Look, I eat one player after another. From 15th to 11th already. And up to 10th. So at this point my confidence was back. I was like, okay, many people make mistakes, I can benefit from this. I was thinking myself, okay, I passed people mainly in the identity section, so I was like, okay, sorry, in the ice section, I mean. So I was like, okay, if I keep getting the ice correct and survive the identity, I will probably make it into the point still and not ruin my evening with this shit. But the gap, despite me having gained positions, the gap was still roughly the same. It was still 3 point something seconds towards 8th place. If we take a look at the scoreboard here, 3.33 seconds. So I gained a little bit, but it is still far from optimal. We see Spam also in the back. I'm not sure what happened to him. Similar mistake, I think, to me. Spam, minus 30. Bren, minus 58. Afi, minus 17. I was sitting here on 10th place and I was praying. I'm not a religious person, but at this point I was praying. Second ice slide, triple respawn. Oh my god. Yeah, I know how it feels, man. At this point, I was sending out all the prayers to all available gods and things you can pray to, because I knew I could probably not gain these many positions or these many seconds with pure, like, pace, with pure fast. Yeah? So, all that I could do is to hope for players to make a mistake in the upcoming laps. I think we're coming to lap 6 now. I'm not sure. This is lap 5 or... I'm not sure if we saw that. 5 or 6. 5. Okay. This is lap 5. And nothing happened anymore. This was pretty trash, but eh. I was gaining though. 2.6. I was gaining. And we see a position change now. Aurel is behind Afi. In the lead, of course, Pack. Who would have thought? Mada has been, you know, pushing the really difficult strat. Evon maybe as well. I'm not sure about the others. But yeah. This is really sad because I was so good on this map. And now it always worked out flawlessly. Man. Evon was just solid safe strat. Okay. I gained 1 position. So ladies and gentlemen, remember how I talked about being 9th place so many times in the Grand League season? Yep, here we go again. I'm on 9th place once again. Once again, I'm on the hot seat. Once again, I'm on the edge and the first player to lose my points. Take a look at the current song right now. It's called First to Go. And I'm the first one to lose my points. So we're going into lap number 6. The gap is huge. And in every checkpoint I was basically hoping to not see the 09 on my car, but the 08. Your identity is so clean. Dude, my entire... Like, I don't want to sound cocky, but everything looks clean. Like, I'm not driving shit. I drive good. And it's just this one freaking ice slide. And the fact that I should have respawned too early. Should have respawned earlier, I mean. That fucking sucks, man. So I was catching up. I did not give up here. I did not give up here. And unfortunately, doing the risky strat, I know that people are asking. I see people asking, hey Riolo, why did you, or did you consider going for the skip in the end? I did not consider it actually. Because in my practice, I didn't bother practicing the crazy route very much because I thought it wasn't worth it anymore. That late into the practice. So yeah, I did it a few times, but didn't really feel that great. So I didn't want to put even more risk into it. I was rather hoping for someone to crash. That in my opinion, that was the wiser choice. That was the wiser choice. So I was just trying to get this identity done. That was really shit, but yeah. That's it, man. Plus 57. 5700s. Catching up from 15th place to 9th place. I tried my hardest and I was short of half a second to keep my 41 points. Everything is down the toilet. That is just half a second and I lose everything. Absolutely everything. Because of one failed ice slide, which I'm surprised it lost me that much, but crazy. We see Aurel on 8th with 7 seconds behind. The winning time is a 6:44. My PB is faster than this. So the times have been good. Not gonna take that away. But I think most of us who died here in the back, we could have contested this time. But yeah, this map is punishing. What can you do? And yeah, oh, here's spam. Ay. Fuck me, man. 41 points minus for me. Bren minus 58. Spam minus 30. And yeah, without my mistake, I had 41 points. I would have been ahead of Mada. I would have been third in this step. But in Germany we say hätte Wurstpalette, and I think that is beautiful. So these are the overall results. Pack wins step 3, and holy moly am I impressed by Pack. That was an insane step. 104 points for Pack. When I grow up, I want to be like Pack. So we have Carl Jr. still in the lead with 211 points. Pack with 173. Aurel now third with 89 points. Mada with 71. Afi with 65. Tween with 57. Spam 44. Bren with 40. Massa with 40 as well. Then there's Scrappy 26. Papu and me with 23. Kappa with 20. Evon with 19. Gwen with 14. And Link with 11 points. I can't believe it, man. So I have gained 5 points from this step. I took 5 points home. And this is very infuriating. Of course, that's the game, and I accept it. I'm not gonna cry about the point system. I made a mistake. But, yeah. It's just that so many things have gone wrong. First, the break. Also a rip for Kappa. And for Scrappy, and for everyone who had technical problems. And yeah, I sadly have been... I just didn't pay attention. That mistake I did on the ice was actually so avoidable. I should have known that I understeered it, but yeah. Fucking sucks, man. I couldn't really contain my disappointment. But yeah, now I can let it out. That was really unfortunate. That was one of my best steps that I played, and it sucks to lose it that way. On the other hand, nothing's lost yet. I can still make it into the playoffs. And with the maps for step 4, they're gonna be good for me. The first 4 maps will be good for me. Map 5 and 6, we'll see. But yeah, I will try my best to just repeat what I've done for this step. My practice has been good. Everything has been solid. Like my mindset was correct. Everything was great, and I really want to do this in step 4 again, because I know I can do it. I have proven that I can do it. I have proven I can compete with the best. And yeah, now there's 3 steps left. We're halfway through. I'm 11th, which is still good, but I want more. I want more. I'm not satisfied with this. It is devastating. On the other hand, I want to stay positive and just keep going what I do and not let this kind of disrupt my my confidence. Because I did good, I know that, and I'm happy with this step, even though it went shit at the end, but I played good. I'm happy. And for step 4, I'll just try my best and see if it works out in the end. So that's it for step 3. And yeah, it can only get better next time, right?